Hello there! Were you ever in a situation where you want to catch some sharks real bad, but you cannot open your own door? Or when it is so dark you cannot even see your own shark, let alone the one in the water? Well, worry no more, because you can now fish in your own base even without any underwear. The fish are so horny here that there are always enough of them, and they cannot even escape too far, which makes fishing even faster. Not to mention the romantic lighting that comes from your own submarine. So how can you make this big boy work? First, if you haven't seen my previous video and you don't know how fishing meta works, check it out. The link is in the description below. Also, subscription is very much appreciated. So, for the full build of this base, you need around 2000 wood and 10,000 stone, excluding deployables. Find a good spot without a sandy beach, meaning as little light yellow water lines on the map as possible. I recommend building next to a fishing village and an underwater lab or oil rig in case you are bored of fishing and want to swim out for some action. When you're at the spot, walk up to the point where you start swimming, build 2 squares and 1 triangle as low as possible. Put the raised triangle for an airlock and build a 4x1 with the last 2 squares completely underwater for a submarine and a fishing spot. If you stand on the edge of the second foundation, the spot should be deep enough, but if you want, you can test it. The depth of the water depends on where you stand and not where the rod is tossed. So when fishing, you should be standing at the very edge of the top foundation. Fastest way to test it is by trying to fish with a level 10 bait. If you catch shark or salmon, then you are good. If you catch anchovy, sardine or herring, then you need to build 1 extra square further. You can also test it with level 5 bait and see if you get any sharks or salmons. It's best if your top foundations are underwater during a wave, but above water when the wave falls back. This makes it easier to get the submarine into the building. The fishing works the same way as I mentioned in my last video. Sell salmon and small shark, gut small fish, use small trout and raw fish as bait. Don't forget to switch between rods after catching the fish to avoid the animation. Close off the base with the half walls if needed and place a garage door for the submarine entrance once you have it. And then your base is done. If you don't like getting salty water on your shoes, then you can also build a similar base in the river. The rewards are a bit lower, but the base is easier to build. It costs 5k stone and 1k wood, excluding deployables. You can build it by going to the middle of the river, build 1 square foundation as deep as possible, 1 triangle foundation in front of it and 1 raised foundation on the other side. You can also add an airlock. If the bait comes up as blue in the end, then your base is deep enough. fishing technique is very similar to the one in deep waters. Gut all the small fish, use yellow perch as bait like small trout, and sell all the salmon and catfish in the fishing village. So now you have your little fishing base and you're making gains, but you don't really feel like a real Super Saiyan fisherman? Well, then maybe you need a fish trap base. Fish trap base is pretty simple. Check how high in the water fish trap needs to be placed and put the foundation on that level. Build out in the water depending on how big of a base you want. One foundation is one trap. I recommend making at least a 3x3. Don't forget that the sea needs to be placed either on a raised foundation or a second floor. If you have your farming shoes on and feel like farming for real, then maybe you can build the second floor to make a potato/hemp farm as well, but that is up to you. After placing all the traps, you need to get some bait. Here you can see what the best bait for the fish trap is. Put 9 food items in the trap and wait for the fish to come. It takes 10 catches for the trap to break, so don't forget to repair it later. You need some wood and cloth for that. The more active you are in the base, the more of small trout you will catch, so check on the base every now and then. Cook some of the raw fish you get, and you can use it as bait again. So that is it for today's video. You should now be a fully certified fisherman, so pass on the fishing knowledge wisely, and let me know if you have any ideas about it. Thank you for watching.